Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie and today I'm going to be creating 2 looks with the Break the Rules palette from ItsBel. And this palette has been sold out and on pre-order. I'm so glad I was able to catch it on the second pre-order because it just was flying off the shelves, the virtual shelves that is. But this is what the inside looks like. It's just full of beautiful, shiny, very like slick eyeshadows basically, and there's just been a lot of talk about this palette. Some of it has been good and some of it has been bad. Now I'm just going to say it because it's the elephant in the room. Yes, there's 6 shades in this palette that are pretty much the same compared to the Plain Jane palette from Adept Cosmetics. There's been a lot of assumptions going around why that is. So there's 3 shades in here that I do not have from Adept, which is Rebel, Stay Radical, and Eager for More. So these are the ones that I'm actually going to be creating the 2 looks with because they are the different shades. However, there are single shades from Adept that you can get that are the same shade as Rebel and Eager for More, and I believe Stay Radical. Amy Loves Makeup did a great comparison video because she do have those singles, so she swatched them. So if you're interested to see exactly how they compare to this palette, then please make sure to check out her video. I will link it down in the description box, but I did do comparison swatches between the Plain Jane and this palette, so you will at least see those 6 shades compared. So before we get into the 2 looks, there's just a couple of things I wanted to say. So let me put down the palette because it's time to get serious. Yes, this palette is private labeled and ItsBel has been very upfront about it from the very beginning, and that doesn't mean it's bad. Please stop making comments about makeup products being made in China always being bad or just private labeling being bad. It's not. And the owner of ItsBel actually went on to their stories to talk about private labeling and just really clear up a lot of things. And obviously us as consumers, there's just a lot of things we don't see or know about behind the scenes. We just kind of assume with the information that we have, and I do really hope that people will start to look more into detail before they make any sort of assumptions and then spread that information around and kind of start bringing down a brand, I would say, because there's also been some accusations of ItsBel copying Adept or that they're made in the same lab, and there's just been so much spread around, and I just really feel for ItsBel because I'm sure that is extremely frustrating, and as well as for Adept. It's not like they're all copying the same formula. The ingredients lists are different between the Plain Jane and this palette, so there's just like so many unknowns. There's a lot of things we don't know behind the scenes. So I just really hope that you decide on your preference versus trying to dig and figure out what's happening. And at the end of the day, it's really about what your preferences are and how much money you would like to spend on something. So this palette retails for $27.50 for 9 eyeshadows, which I think is extremely affordable, and you just really get a nice curated like 9 different shimmery eyeshadows to pair with mattes. So you gotta kind of weigh your options and just see which color assortment of beautiful shimmery shadows you would like, and it doesn't matter where it's from. And also there just seems to be a lot more criticism of indie brands and where their stuff is made. I think the assumption is indie brand means that you have to be actually making eyeshadows, but that's not always the case. Sometimes private labeling is just a step in between being able to create your own formula, and that's fine as well. It really depends on what you view independently owned makeup brands to be. So I did just want to put that out there for everyone to think about. Now let's finally get into the swatches and the 2 looks. So I'm going to compare some Glam Shop and Burnovich eyeshadows to the ItsBel palette. So first up is Bold from the Break the Rules palette, and then X16 from Burnovich. A little bit similar, but Burnovich is definitely darker and just a little bit different tone. Next up is Make Me from the ItsBel palette. This one's very sheer, can see, so let me try to build it up a little bit. And this is Miss from Glam Shop. It's more sheer and sparkly, but I thought these 2 kind of looked a little similar. Then there's Your Choice from the ItsBel palette. This one also needs some building up. It looks purple to me from my view. And from Glam Shop we have Dvalitsa. I would say these are very close, like extremely similar, except Your Choice looks from my angle like it has a little bit of like a yellowy brownish base, and I think you can see it as well. It's just a little bit different, but the reflect is pretty much the same. And then here's Rebel from the ItsBel palette compared to Lost Princess from Sydney Grace. I know this is so random, Sydney Grace eyeshadow. I would say these are very similar, but Sydney Grace is a lot less shiny, but also my eyeshadow is like a couple years old, so it could be because of that, but they're very, very similar. But I don't ever remember the Sydney Grace being that shiny anyway. I think it's supposed to be more like a satin. Here are some swatch comparisons between the Adept Plain Jane and the ItsBel Break the Rules. So here is ItsBel Bold, and this is ACI 12. This is Go Rogue, ACI 11. Your Choice, ACI 8. Make Me, ACI 4. Not Listening, ACI 9. And lastly, Just Watch and ACI 3. So for the most part, they felt pretty much the same. I would say between these two shades, Make Me was extremely hard to pick up with my finger. I had to like really mush it in there. ACI 4 was also a little hard to pick up, but also it looks just a little bit shinier, and if that translates. Otherwise, these two shades at the end are pretty much the same. However, I would say that ACI 3 has a much stronger gold shift in it, at least from my angle. It looks very, very gold compared to the Just Watch shade from ItsBel. You can see it on the tail end here, how much more the Adept shade shifts right over here. So the first look, I'm thinking of going in with the center shade and then this shade up here, because those are 2 out of the 3 that are not similar to the Adept palette. And then for the second look, I'm going to go in with Eager for More. I'm priming with the Natasha Denona primer. For the mattes, I'm going to be using my Lethal Cosmetics. So this is Helios. And I'm putting this kind of right in the crease, but like a little bit higher, because I'm going to be doing a little bit of a sunset vibe is what I'm kind of feeling. So just blending that with a really small brush. And then right in the crease, going in with Fahrenheit. I do have swatches of almost all the matte eyeshadows from Lethal Cosmetics in case you're interested. I have almost all the shades except I think like 3 or 4 or something like that. I'm gonna go back in with Helios. Just kind of blend it into the outer edge of Fahrenheit. And on the outer corner, packing on Corrosion, which is just a really deep, like burgundy shade. Getting a little bit of fallout. But we're here for the shimmers, so I really want to focus on the shimmers. So I'm going to take this deeper matte just a little bit inwards. Next, I'm taking that on my lower lash line as well. And then going in with Helios. Get some brightness up under there. Picked up Rebel and I'm gonna put that, oh my god, I'm gonna put that in the center. Oh wow, that is so beautiful. And this is with nothing underneath, just packing this on. Wow, this is like a dreamy metallic fiery red. I'm gonna go back in with this brush and just kind of blend that out here, and then stay radical on the inner portion. Ooh, that's pretty. I feel like this one, it doesn't need like a glitter primer, but I think that it's a little bit on the flaky side and it could kind of benefit from it for like longevity reasons. But that's so pretty. Let me just go in with my pinky with that shade. I'm really curious. Oh, that definitely kicks it up a notch. Look at that shine. Okay, I'm gonna go in with Rebel on my finger as well. Oh, it's so beautiful. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Pyromancer from Tammy Tenuka, but I think that one's more orangey. Going back in with Corrosion. Don't want any harsh edges there. And so let's move on to the second look. Again, priming with the Natasha Denona primer. Going in with Yonder in my crease from Lethal Cosmetics. This is gonna be like a tealy, grainy look. I'm gonna use Eager for More in this look, and I think I might add another shade. We'll see. But that is such a beautiful shade. Look at that. I'm kind of winging it out. When do I not wing it out though, to be honest? And then Inertia in the crease to just deepen it up a little bit. Looks like it's almost the same shade though, but it's just like a little bit darker. You know, that's interesting to try to use these two shades together. So I kind of get a feel now for how they look. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and take that same shade and pack it on to the outer corner. So I'm going to be deepening it up with a black eyeshadow. It's going in with just a little bit of transmutation from Lethal. I'm gonna use that to kind of smoke it out a little bit. Or a lot of it, you know me. My hand just tends to slip. Lower lash line back in with Inertia. And a tiny bit of transmutation over that. Just blending everything in. I'm going to take a larger brush to feather that out. So I picked up Eager for More on my finger and just going to swipe that. Oh my, stop. That's so sparkly, and oh, that's so smooth too. That feels really smooth. Okay, I love this shade. This makes me not want to add anything else actually. I'm gonna just go in with a little bit more over here, but like one swipe, and look at that. Whew. Picked up Not Listening to put on the inner corner. So I put on the Kiss Lashes in Russian Volume, and on this waterline I have the Beauty Creations, what is this called? Dare to Be Bright Gel Pencil in Lime Time. Huh, it's funny. It's not like really bright. I think my ColourPop yellow liner is brighter. And then this side is also from Beauty Creations, and this is Aquamarine, which one this one applied pretty nicely, but so far not impressed. So here's the first finished look. And here's the second finished look. So I did only use 3 shades out of this palette, but they were so sparkly. And you know, I love my shiny and shifty eyeshadows, so this is of course not going to disappoint, and I already know that the shades are similar between this and the Plain Jane, and I love my Plain Jane. I know I'm gonna love this, and I think this is just such a great 9-pan little palette of beautiful, very shiny and sparkly eyeshadows that you can pair with whichever mattes you want. I think this palette is great for glam looks or just everyday looks where you just put something in the crease and throw this on the lid. I think this is a stunning and very affordable palette, and also keep in mind that this is permanent while the Plain Jane is not. So if you've been interested in the Plain Jane and you like the shades in there, so then this will be a great option for you. Now I know that there's been other indie brands coming out with all shimmer palettes that have similar shades across. My advice to you is just to pick one of the palettes that you think has the shimmers that you would like the most, the different, you know, greens, blues, the ratios of all those colors, and which ones you really would lean toward. And of course there's also more shades in those palettes, so if you're somebody who would rather opt for something like a 9-pan palette, then you have this really great affordable option as well. So just choose based on your color preferences and your budget, and I think you'll be good to go. And ItsBel will be releasing another palette very soon, and I'm so excited. I am really looking forward to watching them grow. I know they've also released some colorful mascaras, and I just really can't wait for them. I'm really excited. I am here rooting for ItsBel. Yo, let me know in the comments below which look was your favorite, and also let me know if you picked this palette up or you plan on picking it up in the next pre-order. And that's everything for this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup, lots of shiny, shifty, and sparkly eyeshadow content already on my channel, and so much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.